Calling case 23601 AS. The matter regarding Essence Colbert. Appearances.
Sarah DeYoung on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Morning, Honor. Sean Godwin, P74500 for Essence Colbert stands before you. Please state your name.
Essence Colbert.
Okay, today is the date and time set for sentencing.
Quick pause here. This is important. Contempt of court isn't just bad behavior. It means the judge already found, beyond a reasonable doubt, that court authority was violated. That's a serious legal threshold, and it puts real jail time squarely on the table. At this point, the courtroom mood is already tense.
There was a contempt hearing before this court where the court found that the people met the burden beyond a reasonable doubt that Ms. Colbert was in fact in contempt of court. Is there anything from the people?
No, Your Honor. I am standing in for APA Elizabeth Kellogg. I was not the prosecutor of record earlier on this matter. I know the court had a chance to hear the evidence, and I would leave the sentence to the court's discretion.
Okay. Mr. Godwin, anything you would like to say?
Ms. Colbert has been going through a difficult time. She lost her child. She was pregnant, and she lost the baby in November. As you heard at the hearing, she made a report to Agent Mines, attempted to retract that report soon thereafter. And then she was told to come into court by Agent Mines. She did come into court, that she's been diagnosed with postpartum.
This is where mitigation comes in. Defense attorneys bring up mental health, trauma, and personal loss to humanize the defendant, not to excuse the conduct, but to explain it. Judges can consider this, but it doesn't erase what already happened. Do you think this should reduce punishment or just explain behavior?
Depression and post-traumatic stress disorder, and share some of the symptoms she's been having, and that they have a treatment plan. Her parents are not with her, not able to see her younger brother, that she is going to church and seeking emotional support, but she has a strong work history. She always has a job, and I don't believe she has any criminal record of any type. And I would note that, you know, she did take steps to try to rectify the situation. Thank you.
Is there anything you would like to say?
Yes, sure. First, I would like to apologize to the court and everyone this has affected. I am a person that hold myself accountable for everything. I believe in living in my truth. And yes, it has been very hard for me. And the person that I made the report on was my child's father. We were going through some things, and I was dealing with a lot with his ex. And since I lost Darlene, I did start drinking and was drinking with my pain meds, and never done that before, and it caused me to hallucinate and think that certain things happened that I found once I became sober, that it really didn't happen that way. Once I did see a lot of the chaos that I had caused, that's when I immediately tried to get ahead of the situation.
And this right here is the turning point. She's admitting the report wasn't true. Recanting matters, but legally, the damage may already be done. Police reports trigger warrants, arrests, and jail time for other people. Once that system starts moving, it's not easy to stop.
And let everyone know what it really was, what the situation really was. That is why I came here. That is why it's the court's attention. I have been doing everything to, like you said, try to rectify the situation. This is not like me. It's not something I was, not normally would do. I would have never made the report if I felt like the situation would have got like this. I have a history of domestic violence with other relationships, and it just caused me to have really bad trust issues. So although he was trying to let me know what it was, I didn't believe him. So it took some time, but when I realized it, that is why I came forward and been trying to do everything since.
When you say, although he was trying to let you know, what do you mean by that?
Like he was trying to let me know that he didn't do those things. I did not believe him because I was bruised up, but my family let me know that the bruises and marks on me came from me being drunk and out of my mind. And I rode a scooter downtown and ran into a car. I hit myself against the head. I've been doing things out of normal and I don't remember it. And I was coming up with my own conclusions that wasn't true.
So the social worker, it says we've gotten back on track with the treatment plan. And so what does that look like? I'm curious.
So I had my first session since then yesterday. She did say that she wants to see how this is going to plan out to basically put me on her. We normally have weekly sessions, working through all of my issues, as well as the treatment plan is to really help me with my anger and my impulsiveness.
Anything else?
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a bit of a record today, and you should thank Mr. Godwin for submitting what he submitted today.
When a judge says they balance a case, listen closely. That means they're weighing mercy against accountability, compassion versus deterrence. This is the calm before the storm. You can tell the judge is about to get very real about consequences.
So here's what I'll say. This court takes all matters seriously. Anytime it imposes a sentence or not imposes a sentence, whether it be 3 days, 30 days, 30 years, life without the possibility of parole, it requires the same degree of attention to detail. And I have to do a lot of balancing here. And so you have things that weigh in your favor, like mitigation, and there are some things that are egregious. Let's start with what is egregious. And you know already, you accused Mr. Hester, who is a defendant on probation to this court, of doing horrific things to you. And we don't need to go back through that. That record's been made.
Did you catch that? A collective gasp in the courtroom. Judges don't say that lightly. These weren't minor accusations. They were allegations that could have destroyed someone's freedom overnight. This is where the emotional weight of false accusations hits hard.
Honestly, it was so bad. Let me tell you, when Agent Mine stood here the first time when I initially ordered the show cause, I had a lot more people in the courtroom. It was like a collective gasp. Like, it was that bad. So that was the reaction to, oh yeah, she said, I mean, the hitting, the punching, the choking. I don't want you to say anything. I'm ruling. The hitting, the punching, the choking, the held me hostage. I mean, those are horrible, horrible things to say. And then to come back and say, yeah, I was upset, because the part that you didn't mention today was that, well, what Agent Mines testified to, and I believe her, that you were also upset because of everything that you were going through, that he went back to his ex-girlfriend as well. And so you're no stranger to this process, because you've actually been in this courtroom before. And you knew how seriously this court takes these proceedings, and you use that to your advantage, because there was a prior warrant or something that came up previously when I thought about the entire history. And I put you under oath. Are you afraid? No, no, no. I take this seriously. Is there anything I need to know? No. So, and so I just point that out, that in making the allegations that you made and a warrant was generated, the court reviewed the warrant, the court signed the warrant, the court entered the warrant. If Mr. Hester had been picked up on the warrant, because just because you want to call something off, I mean, this is like a life lesson here. Just because you want to call something off, It doesn't happen like that. So just because you decided 2 weeks later that, because I do think that you had some issues here based upon what I'm reading, and I could only imagine, I think you were pretty far along in your pregnancy. So I think part of it, you could have been out of it. And part of it, I think, was deliberate. Like, I don't think you were so far gone, but I do think that there were definitely some issues there. So he's in warrant status. He's picked up. If he had any police contact, he would have been picked up and put in jail, at least for a day. If he had picked up on a Friday, it would have been 3 nights for a Monday. And then he would have been arraigned on that violation based upon, depending on what you would have said, then I would have dismissed it, but he would have spent 3 nights in jail. Or, depending, we would have set it for a violation hearing. And he would have been held at remand or given a bond, but he would have at least spent numerous nights in jail. If you had really wrote this out, he could have gone to prison. A court, especially this court, is not the place for a scorned or vindictive girlfriend. Don't put the court in this mess ever again. What goes in your favor is that you did recant. What goes in your favor is that you've come to every hearing, you've been respectful, and again, you did recant. So I have something that's really egregious. And then I also have that you've recanted, accepted responsibility, even before Mr. Godwin wanted you to accept responsibility. You wanted to accept responsibility. Even before I was willing to let you accept responsibility without an attorney, you wanted to accept responsibility. Goals of sentencing are, because it's not just about you per se, because it is to punish a wrongdoer, one of the goals, but also to deter future nonsense like this from clogging up a court's docket. Agent Mines testified to, or she put it on the record that, that you had made a police report, that you filed a PPO. That's on them whether or not they charge you, but this court was still going to handle in the way it deemed appropriate. So prior to me receiving this information, just so you know, you were not going home today. So that's what I'm saying. You need to thank Mr. Godwin. I had already told Corporal Beatty that you were probably not going home today, but I never make up my mind until I listen to everything and everybody. So just so you know that I'm not playing around here. So.
This is a legal lifeline. Sentence held in abeyance means the jail time is real, but paused. One mistake, one violation, one contact with the wrong person, and those 7 days activate immediately. So let me ask you, is this fair mercy, or is the court being too lenient?
I am going to sentence you, but I'm going to hold the sentence in abeyance, and I'll check back in with you because I want to see if you're going to these sessions and trying to all these things that you gave me. So it's going to be 7 days in the Wayne County Jail, and I'm going to hold that sentence in abeyance. And if you're doing everything that you're supposed to do, if you're proceeding with your counseling, because I don't proclaim to if I had just saw that counseling letter, but it was to actually see your report from the hospital that you did lose the child. And so I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt and not taking you into custody today, but I better not hear a peep out of you. And as it relates to Mr. Hester, you need to work on yourself or you are going to serve this time. And like I said, you were going today, but I still, again, you need to thank Mr. Godwin for that today. This is not the place for that. And it took a lot of time out the court's docket to even do this, but it was that important to make sure that I did it the right way, to draft order to show cause, to keep putting this matter back on the court's docket, but this court is not going to be used no matter what. And you know, and I told you, you could have gotten up to 93 days in jail and a fine. And had you not recanted timely, I would have maxed you out. So you are flirting with disaster here. So 7 days held in abeyance.
Can I say one last?
No,
I don't think you should. Mr. Godwin, I'm gonna bring her back for a review day. When do you think that? 2 months to see how she's doing? Because here's how this works. If you're not going to this, then I'm just gonna assume that that was just a ploy to try to get out of, so then you're gonna serve the sentence. So, Mr. Godwin, I'm asking you the question again, how long for our review date?
oh, you asked, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you ask me a question. I apologize. March 21st available?
It should be 60 days, and I want to see that she's, again, continuing to go, continuing to work on herself, because this is nonsense. Balancing out, because the world is not just about you. Domestic violence is very real and it's very serious. And so I'm just not going to tolerate. So then I would expect to see an updated progress letter when she comes back,
Yes.
or she should be prepared to start serving a sentence. All right,
Excellent.
March 19th, and thank him for his diligence. We're off the record.